What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC. I'm Ken, and today we have got a whole bunch of Meus stuff that showed up. So we're going to check these out. We definitely wanted to check out the new Meus 1.2 wheels and tires. So we're going to open these guys up and tell you how we feel about them. These wheels have some serious weight to them, so that's pretty exciting. Looks like there's a tool included here, so that's cool, like a finger tool, because there's scale hardware. Scale hardware, scale hardware, scale hardware. Thank you, Meus, for doing what we all want, including the scale hardware. Awesome. We also got some other stuff that we're not going to do in this video, but make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and yeah, you'll know when all this other Meus stuff goes up. We're going to show these portal axles, the new Meus shocks. This is the four-wheel steer kit, the new Meus servo. And I think I showed them in a previous mail day, but obviously we have two of the new Ripper kits. One with the Jeep hood and grill and one with the FJ hood and grill. Or something. Yeah, there you go. FJ right there. Actually, this looks like, I think we got a special set where we got both. We did. So this has both sets in here, but when you purchase them online, you choose one or the other. So just be aware. Anyway, we'll show those in the build video. But for now, it's a wheel video. Oh, and a tire video. So I want to just get these guys ripped open, see how they feel. The new Meus packaging is sick. They're just stepping up their game every time there's a new release. Now they've got this cool like gold print on their packaging. Just looks super quality. Oh, dude, I could hear them, how sticky they are. You like, when I was moving it, it's like click, click, click. Hear that? Just pulling them out of the package. Wow. Okay, those feel really good. Again, I just want to remind people, just because they're sticky doesn't mean they stay sticky when you get them on dirt, right? It's more about the compound. So just keep that in mind. Oh my God, they have the stick, and it's not just that though. They're soft, right? So what I think some manufacturers should try to do. Let's see, these feel okay. Some are too thin on the sidewall. I feel like if more manufactured would just make the sidewall a little thicker, not the bead, right? We still need to be able to mount them, but like this sidewall, if you made it thicker as it went towards the bead, kind of like the side profile here, as you're going in towards the bead, it just got thicker, and then maybe dip down so the bead would fit, because again, you don't want the bead to be too thick, otherwise you have issues mounting. But make this basically right in here where the lugs are not, kind of rigid. Then you don't need inserts or foams as much. It could just help. You can run a lot softer foams. Yeah, because these are really thin on the sides here. Well, not just these, but like tires in general. But man, these are sticky. That's bonkers, guys. I love it. And they feel like they got just enough meat on them. You don't want too much meat. It just gets too nutty. But they're like basically pre-siped. If you know what siping is, it's where you take lugs and you cut them. So people do these on real tires. They just slice them and they sipe the lugs. And so, yeah, they look pre-siped, at least on these tires. I don't even know if these are the same, honestly. I think these are a different size. Or are they the same? Maybe these are the same. I don't know. I forget. You get so much stuff, and I order so much stuff, I forget what I order sometimes. And Meus was super awesome on these ones, and they comped us. They went ahead and said, "Hey, we'll send you out. You've done such good coverage for us. We'll send you out a set of the wheels and tires." So yeah, I think these are the exact same. I think they just wanted to make sure we had tires for the wheels. Yeah, 62 by 24 are 1.2s. They're called crawler tires. They should make up a name when they put them on there. I don't know if this is modeled. I'm sure it's modeled after some pattern somewhere, but I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at all those different tire patterns and just saying, oh, those are this tire and these are that tire. Oh, those are ripoffs of those tires. Nah, I don't know. Don't really care. It's not my thing. But if you know, put down in the comments below, what tire is this modeled after? Because everybody seems to model their tires after some real world tires. They're like infinite patterns, but people like the way certain patterns look, so that's what they do. All right, so these are all the same. Yeah. All right, let's get into these wheels now. So all these guys come individually packaged, which is nice. It keeps them from getting scraped up against each other or things of that nature. These are aluminum faces and rears with brass inserts, brass inner rings. So you got some good weight there. Once we get a wheel all together, we'll go ahead and weigh it. I mean, I can weigh it now, I guess, if you're curious. These are both exactly the same. They're just different colors. Let's go ahead and scoot this over here, and we'll get a little weight check. Just on the brass ring itself, just in case you're curious, we're at 27.64 grams. The aluminum is 14.63, and together we're at 42.29. Plus, we'll have our hardware in there. That'll add just a tiny bit, but yeah, right at 43 grams. So some good weight. They're 1.2s, so they're going to look a little bit larger. They're meant for like a TRX 4M mostly, right? Like or even a FCX 24, since they're a little bit larger scale on their bodies on some of them, at least on the Butcher and the K5. This will give you a little bit larger wheel. So that's pretty cool. Definitely dig the look, right? And like I mentioned before, I love that these come with scale hardware. Like, how freaking cool is that? So scale hardware, just in case you don't know, is basically actual like lug nuts. Well, not lug nuts, but bolts, like bolt heads, versus being a screw with a hex. You know what I mean. Come on, guys. Instead of looking like this, we're looking like this. Much, much cooler looking on this guy here. Not that this is horrible. It's better than a Phillips head, I suppose. But like, yeah, buddy, scale hardware is sick. So that's cool that this is included. It's going to look a lot better with that scale hardware. And they've got an awesome tool. So I dig that. I dig that for sure. I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff mounted up. We're just going to use the stock foams that they come with. I'm sure Flub RC will be coming out with, some inserts, or you can request them and he'll get them made for you. If enough people request, then, for sure he'll get them on the site. He's really good about that. Flub RC is awesome with their slime balls. And, side note, if you haven't seen it yet, Meus is doing something absolutely sick. Maybe I'll put a clip in here. They are milling a Ripper chassis for the TRX-4M, or whatever you want to build it as, right? Because you could realistically kind of build it however you want. You could use FCX parts, SCX parts, TRX parts, whatever. You can make it work. But it's essentially meant for a TRX-4M out of all aluminum. It is a single block of billet aluminum, and they're milling it out. Insane, guys. Insane. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a super limited run. They're going to be very, 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 very expensive because they're meant as kind of a collector's item or for somebody who's just a huge fan of Meus or the Ripper chassis. If anybody doesn't know, and we'll talk about this more when we do other videos on that chassis, but just since we're talking about the wheels right now, that Ripper chassis is a concept that was done previously by another company on the 110s. Now, the 110th version is on rails. It's actually on an SCX 10 rail system, so it's not truly a full tube chassis, whereas the Meus one, I guess, is closer to that. But that original concept was a milled, like, 100-pound block of aluminum, and they made, I think, like 169 of them, plus some other random numbers, like there's an all 888 out there, or all 777 out there, something like that. There's a number 1000 or something. But in general, there's under 200 of those 1/10 scale Ripper chassis. And they have become highly collectible. I think they were like $2,000 to buy them new. Just the chassis, guys, not the whole RC. So they're meant to be a collectible. They're meant to be a limited run. There were under 200 of them made in the whole world. But Meus is only cutting 100 of these things, and they're all going to be numbered. There's only 100 of them. Freaking nuts, guys. Enough on that. Let's get back to the wheels and tires. And again, like, subscribe, share. We'll have some of the first information on the all aluminum single piece billet Ripper chassis. Alrighty, guys, we got them all mounted up. I've left one just to kind of show you. Just wanted to show this. Look at how quality this stuff is. It's got nice little machine lines and the logo laser etched in there. Super, super slick. Even the edge. Not that you see that part, but it's just awesome to know that there's some some quality work going into that. Now these wheels and the backs on both, these are two different designs. You can see they're just slightly different in their design. Not too crazy, but they do need to line up your holes. So just make sure when you put them into your tires that they're lined up. See how my bolt holes are lined up, but the pattern is not? So you just want to turn them until they line up with both the bolt holes and, there you go, and the pattern of the wheel. Unless you like that look. If you like that look, go for it. You know, if you want to do that, go for it. Could be cool. But yeah, something like that, right? And I'll usually put in the thicker side first. Just that way I can spin the rear. It's a little bit easier. But however is best for you. Just kind of pull the tire around the outer face. Make sure it doesn't get pulled out of the ring though, the beadlock ring. You can also get some water, or if you want, use spit and just get it a little wet. And when you stick it on there, it'll spin very easily. You can just kind of go like so. Do these on real tires, right? And then line it up and drop it in and boom. And then you can rotate it if you need to get it lined up. Super nice, super easy. Also wanted to show how many extra bolts you got, right? So this is for both, so it'd be about half that. But still, they basically gave you double the bolts that you needed. So you've got plenty of backup scale bolts, or if you want to use them on other things, other wheels or chassis parts or whatever, as long as they're the length you need, right? But yeah, boom, just like so. Plenty of extras, which is super nice. And then you can just throw your little scale bolts right there into your wheel. Make sure you always do a little turn counterclockwise before you start going clockwise to make sure you're not cross-threading. And then also, as always, put your bolts in and tighten in a star pattern, right? So go across and then go in. Get them just kind of snug. And then once they're all snug, you can go ahead and really kind of tighten them down and just go around in a circle or maintain your cross, however you want to do it. But just make sure you get them all nice and tight. One thing that's nice, well, I don't know if it's nice, but it's definitely part of the design of this tool is you can't over tighten with this tool. I mean, you only got a little bit of grip. It's hard to do. You squeeze and try to tighten it down as much as you can. You probably will not over tighten no matter what, because, well, you can't get a good purchase on this tool. But that's fine because you don't want to over tighten. I did all of them with this tool. It fits perfect. I like that it's, tapered down. That way it fits in the little cutouts just right. And yeah, you can just crank it down as hard as you want, probably, unless you got some superhero finger strength. You're probably not going to do anything to harm it. But just make sure they're tight. You can also Loctite them. You're going into metal. You can Loctite if you want. Just blue Loctite, not red. And bam, you're good to go. One thing about these tires is they are directional. I just kind of want to show the tires a little more because we're not going to do a running video for this video, guys. We're going to do a running video once the whole truck is built. So keep an eye out for that. Again, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come up. But look at these tires. Look at this. It's maybe hard to convey through the video, but these are different layers. They're different levels. Grab a, oh no, broke my screwdriver. That's okay. We got like 10 of these things. Like this is lower than this. So they alternate. Low, high, low, high, low, high, right? And then same on the inside. Low, high, low, high. So these two are both low. This is high. It's hard to convey in the video. But oh, there you go. You can, when I get real close, I guess you can see it. But I think that's going to really, really grab well on, super rocky terrain. It's pretty slick. Again, these are 62 by 24 1.2s. And man, they feel like they're going to be good. So I'm excited for that. As far as other wheels, they also have an all brass wheel set. Again, these are brass inserts with aluminum face and rear. let's go ahead and weigh them with the tires on there. Since these are two different designs, they're going to be two different weights, just a little bit, even though we weighed some earlier. I want to go ahead and just show you with the tire on there and the difference between the two. So this one's 57. This guy's a little bit lighter at 54, almost 55. So 2 grams-ish, 2.5 grams difference between these two. And then there's also a brass wheel. It's not out yet, but it's going to come in with the tire right around 81.4. So the difference between this one, the 57, and that is going to be right at 24 grams. So it should be about 24 grams heavier than both of these. So yeah, if you're looking for an all brass face and rear and inner ring, then maybe that's an option. But 81 grams per side is pretty heavy. Basically an extra 100 grams by going all brass. And again, you don't want to have rotating mass be super, super heavy. So it's going to depend on your rig build and what your intent is and just what you like, I guess. But I probably wouldn't go all brass wheels on, anything that is even remotely a trail truck or anything like that. It just adds a ton of extra wear and tear on your servo and your motor, your drive line. You're more likely to break axles or drive shafts, overheat your ESC and motor when you have a ton of weight on the rotating mass, right? You want most of your weight on your axle, like your knuckles, your diff cover, being able to put your battery on your axle, stuff like that. It depends on the type of build you're doing, because a scale build, you're obviously not going to put your battery on axle and stuff like that. It also depends on how heavy your center of gravity is. If you have a super heavy body and your center of gravity is really high, then you need to get some more weight down low. Then all brass wheels are maybe an option. Just keep in mind the kind of wear and tear it's going to put on your system. So it's definitely not ideal when it comes to being as efficient as possible. But these guys with just the brass ring, they're just a perfect weight. They're fantastic. Unless you're going to like a super crazy comp style build, like a super sporty with the Outlaw 1.8s, something like that. Unless you're going that route, I think these are going to be fantastic. Plus, they look great. I really like the look, so it's just a matter of preference, right? Wheel and tire reviews are always kind of hard because it's so preferential. It depends on the type of terrain you're on, the type of truck you're building, personal preference in style, whether you like the 1.0s or 1.2s, and tires, like I said, every terrain is different. Humidity, heat, the type of rig, the type of class, the terrain you're on, the wind of the day, how the tires feel, all that, whatever, all that stuff plays into whether a set of tires is good for you versus for me. So again, I just like to show them, just give you my opinion on how they feel in the hand. As far as how they feel on the rocks, it's going to depend on your rocks. So we will hopefully show some running videos. Well, we will show some running videos when we get the full truck built. And yeah, so keep an eye out for that. All right, I'll go ahead and slap him on this guy, just so you can see him on a truck at least. I guess it's kind of unfair for me to not show them on a truck. And so yeah, we'll go ahead and put them on here. BRB.
A few moments later.
All right, I think we're good to go here. Like I said, these guys are directional. Usually you kind of want them the, I guess, arrow or the angled, kind of facing the direction it's rotating. But I've seen people flip them so they go in the opposite direction on the fronts or vice versa. It's just a matter, again, of what works best for you. As long as they're the same, as long as you're going the same direction on the left and the right, you're probably fine. You probably wouldn't want to reverse it so that one side was going one way and one side was going the other, if you look at the center lugs. But yeah, pretty much like that is how I'm going to run it. I'm going to put them on this guy for now. I'll probably put these guys on the new Ripper that we're going to run, the injection molded Ripper. So we'll have a video on that with a bunch of other upgrades. We're going to do the Meus portals. They're all brass, and these shocks look like they're going to be pretty sweet, actually. So we'll do those as well. And on that build, that's when we'll do a running video. So keep an eye out for that. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell right over here. Do all those things you do at the end of videos you like. If you're interested in this build, the original build of just how to build the Ripper chassis in general, we do have a video. We'll put it right over here. There's also an SCX24 version. We'll put that right over here. And you should be able to find those and check out how easy these things go together. They really change the way the truck feels. So pretty slick. I mean, it really lightens up the upper half. It lowers it just a little bit. And this is, not a heavily modified truck at all. We just have different links. But they're basically stock geometry links. And everything else is pretty much stock on it, except our servo. It's using the laydown servo. That comes with the Ripper chassis, the laydown servo mount. So that's pretty slick. And we've got some 3Flow 9 on there on the front. But other than that, it's pretty much stock. So super cool rig. The new these ones were like $90. These are the 3D printed very first version, but the new injection molded versions, they're like $35, so under $40, and they're like way more durable than these. Again, this was just kind of almost a prototype test run almost. Everybody that bought them, they knew what they were buying. They knew they were buying a 3D printed chassis. So yeah, there's no complaints there for me. When you're running it, you got to be aware. Hey, don't roll. Be extra careful on your lines. Don't do craziness. It's 3D printed. Even the little guy racing parts, their version of the Ripper, it's all 3D printed. It was like $120 or something like that. And one little roll and my roll cage cracked and my tub cracked. So that's just the nature of 3D printed stuff. So just be aware of that when you're buying stuff 3D printed. But again, more importantly, this guy's available in a full injection molded version. And in 2 colors. There's a orange cage and then an all black one. And yeah, it's going to be super exciting. Also 2 different variants of bumper and grill. I showed those in the beginning too. So anyway, check them out. Get out there, build something awesome. Build a car, build a course, build a community, and smash it, crash it, and bash it. But don't break the expensive parts. Peace.